Gaming needs discipline. So tell me if this sounds familiar. You come home from a long day of work, and the only thing that was getting you through that day was thinking of getting home, sitting on your sofa, and just relaxing on your chill horseback ride in Red Dead Redemption. Or maybe going and finally beating that boss that you have spent days learning the attack pattern of. Or maybe it was finally the sale season, and just like every other Steam sale, you had that one game you were looking forward to buying. And today was the day that you were finally going to get to play it. But then once you come home, and then one thing leads to another, and it's probably 1 a.m., you're in bed, scrolling on your phone, watching another video or another essay about that very same game. You don't know why all that you built in your head didn't come to fruition. Well, I'm here to say that you are definitely not alone. We're all feeling the weight of being adults who love gaming, but sometimes we just can't seem to get into it. Well, maybe it is that we have less time, or maybe it is something else. So let's ask ourselves, how did we get here? From being so happy getting constantly yelled by Big Smoke,
all we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
To now just opening the game and being unable to even sit through the first cutscene before clocking out. Feeling like the sense of wonder and attention we had as kids is lost to us, or maybe it was just a phase we grew out of. Well, I don't think it is as simple as that. We still love gaming, but to love to game again, maybe we need to be a little bit more disciplined and get our attention back from everything in the world that is competing for it. And trust me, it is not easy. It's going to be just like hearing. But all you need to do is be a bit more present and look at gaming under a different light. So how did I start to wonder about any of this? Well, I had some major deadlines to get to, during which I couldn't find time to game. Whether it be from being tired or from being worried about just wasting away my time. Yeah, that is not a healthy outlook. But once those deadlines were met, I couldn't wait to just sit back, relax, and play the game that I'd been dying to finish, The Witcher 3. Continue the Blood and Wine DLC, which everyone told me would be the best time I could ever hope for. I sat down and I started, but I couldn't even sit for 10 minutes before feeling burnt out and wanting to quit. I thought, maybe I'm just tired, so I'll just power through. And I tried, but I couldn't. I just couldn't get myself to play. So I just quit and went to sleep. The next day, I woke up thinking how today will be the day. And I sat down to play again. Well, the same story. No matter what I did, I couldn't pay attention to what was in front of me. I don't know why. So I thought maybe it is from all the built up fatigue. And I just quit and I sat thinking of how this was not how it was supposed to go. I thought that I'd be playing all night and then continuing the next morning, building up to that payoff that I had been looking forward to. And I realized my attention was so split between so many trivial things that when I wanted to game and actually pay attention to the one thing that I wanted to, I couldn't. The previous night, once I went to sleep, I just scrolled away at my phone in some deep echo chamber of Reddit. The next day morning, same again, seeing about some random outrage about someone I don't know or never heard of. And that is what made me realize that I lacked discipline in the way I do things, not that I didn't love to game. I find it very intriguing to have the word discipline associated with gaming, something that even today many consider as something to kill time or to just switch off your mind and sink into a screen. But when your battery is drained from all the stimulation throughout the day, it gets really hard to focus on the games you play or spend time in any hobby for that matter. We all know of dopamine, that one happy molecule that gets us most of the pleasure in life from the things we find interesting. But there are two big problems with dopamine that we don't pay attention to. One, our brain is constantly bombarded with so many things around us, from YouTube to Reels to that angry blue bird, that it continuously latches on from one thing to another, continuously releasing dopamine for us. And that tiny molecule in our brains is limited. And we build up tolerance to things very quickly, which is why things we do for pleasure continuously might require more and more of it to get the same pleasure out of it. And honestly, it even works with how we engage on social media. Have you ever found yourself scrolling past through more and more posts to get to that one that interests you? Well, this is why we are building up tolerances to things so quickly that our brain doesn't find as many things interesting. And once we have depleted our reserves, we don't have anything left. We have nothing in our tanks to give to the things that actually interest us or to the things that we have been looking forward to. This, I feel, is the main reason why so many of us are struggling with fitting gaming in our lives. Being so drained from the constant bursts of dopamine throughout the day, whether it be the 10-minute scroll on the toilet or mindlessly scrolling throughout the small pockets of time. We are so busy consuming content that is being fed to us that we don't have the energy to consume content that we look forward to. Well, this is one side of it. The other side is making ourselves too familiar with the game. How many times have we looked up before you buy video from Game Ranks for a game that we wanted to start? Or just engaging with the online discourse? Well, community engagement makes us happy. It makes us feel involved. It makes us feel part of something bigger than ourselves. And that is what drives our excitement. But the one thing it takes away is discovering the game ourselves. Even the smallest things, the smallest accomplishments. Because you will clock out of a game if you don't find it challenging or feel accomplished in it. Our brain likes to be challenged. So now that I have rambled on and on about what I feel the problem is, how do we fix this? Well, here are my 2 cents. Yeah, a random stranger on the internet is giving you his opinion. These are things that I have tried to help me have that experience that I build up in my head. And I want to give the most important advice first. That is to be content with boredom. Be content with doing nothing. We don't need to be constantly fed algorithmic crap to fill up the gaps in our lives. For when you're traveling, or maybe grabbing a quick coffee, or just getting up in the morning, you don't need to catch up on the things that have happened, or to give your attention to whatever it is that is trying to get it. Yeah, this sounds simple. It is not. We can try resisting the urge to pick up our phones, but muscle memory is a bitch. You can just pick up your phone right now and your thumb will automatically know where to go to give you that dopamine. How many times have you just closed a social media app only to open it again in 5 minutes? Well, that is muscle memory doing it for you. So how do we tackle this? Well, suddenly cutting off everything is going to feel jittery, and that is no good for either of us. So we can just start by doing something that is curated by ourselves for ourselves. Pick a game that you enjoy in short bursts. For me, it was Balatro. I just wake up and during the time I'm making my coffee or just whiling away waiting for something to happen, I sneak in a quick game, 10-15 minutes, knowing that I'm spending that time doing something that I want to, vibing to the music and just working towards getting the next rare joker. Yeah, that music is very addicting. If I become a gambling addict, I'm gonna blame this game. Or maybe you can just read something. Pick up a book you've been meaning to start, or read an article that you thought you'd read but never got to. The one tip I can give you to get out of doom scrolling away at your phone is to add friction. Friction is the one thing that our brain hates. Getting quick, easy access to things is the way we are designed. Well, if you add friction, that helps to cut out things a lot. So how can we add friction to our social media apps? Just use the web browser versions. Instead of having the app logged in on your phone constantly, just use the browser version and don't log in. Search for if you want to see something. Try not to get sucked in by what is being fed to you. Trust me, these 2 extra steps will make your brain fatigued and you will gravitate to something else or maybe to nothing. Another thing we can try if gaming feels mundane is to just try other genres. Gaming can be comfort food, trust me. Comfort food gaming is the best. Just sitting back and relaxing, knowing that you don't have to think while you game. Well, too much of comfort food and you get desensitized to the same emotions. And maybe it is because of that you aren't able to focus. Maybe instead of playing that same online FPS with a podcast on the side, try getting into a single player FPS like Bioshock or something fast paced like Doom. Or if you feel that you are mindlessly grinding in a MMO or a looter shooter, pick up that one game that your friends have been recommending to you since forever and you promise that you will get to. And if I can recommend to you one game that I feel everyone must play, it has to be The Outer Wilds. Well, that is a video for another day. No, not this one. The Outer Wilds. Lastly, and this is the most biased and based opinion in this video. If multiplayer gaming has become you playing alone, raging at a screen about how a guy across the world could have done something little differently to give you the better outcome, you should really look into trying something different. If my 2.5 to 3,000 hours in Valorant has taught me anything, it's that it is definitely not worth placing your sanity in the hands of 4 others and expecting that they want what's best for you. But then again, doing that with a couple of friends with whom you know you are here for a good time rather than a good grind, that is the way I feel these games should be played. So that's it for my 2 AM thoughts. Let me know what other things you would want me to make videos on. I'm going to experiment with a couple of different topics here and there that interest me and would love your input. And yeah, don't forget about the element of surprise.